Cheers. Happy 9th episode.
Happy 9th. I was thinking, what have we learned? What have we learned 9 episodes?
Well,
We've had a lot happen in 9 episodes. It seems like
this is true.
it feels like a longer marriage.
I will tell you, one of the things that I find that's very interesting is when I look at episode 1
Okay.
and I look to now episode 9,
Yes.
I'm like, there's been a lot of progress.
Has there?
Yeah, it feels like it's like there are more cameras, there are more lights, but then there's also sort of a sense of like what the podcast is.
Okay.
And I think it's fun because you're doing it, or maybe every podcaster feels this, but this element of like, oh, if something nice happens, I'll talk about it this week.
Yeah.
Probably people who go to therapy feel the same thing.
Right.
So
Right.
if you can't afford therapy,
Yes.
start a podcast with someone. But we did a show
Right.
where we, at this great place, Baja Comedy Lounge.
Yes.
And I've done this show for years. I've
Right.
done this show.
Yeah.
Hosting it and putting together lineups and stuff like that. So I've seen the progress of this very mundane place, which has an amazing story, which maybe we'll talk about, maybe we won't. But
Yeah.
this sort of, now they have like a whole club there where now, and then there was like no way, there was like no like background where it was just like a stage and then the bathroom behind you.
Right.
And now and then behind that there were TVs, but the TVs were playing like the general Roku background
Yeah.
you would get if
Yeah.
you didn't touch anything.
Right.
Now that it says like Comedy Lounge.
Yes.
And there's a curtain and there was a spotlight.
Yeah.
And there's all this sort of like how something goes from this very simple, mundane thing that's kind of almost kitschy
Right.
to this
Yeah.
ostensible production in
Yeah.
life and in general things that happen.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that show which we did last night, and just being there and being like, man, that's just like us. Start off where you see the bathroom behind us, and
Yeah.
now we got a spotlight and a TV with a sign.
Yep.
And I think that to see progress in anything, I think motivates in its own little way.
I'm a huge believer in once you find somebody that's they're doing something amazing. I think that's it starts with an idea like in a coffee shop or whatever, and then it blossoms into this incredible thing. It's my favorite. I mean, I would tell people that want to start a thing, even if I think it's a bad idea, I'm like, do it, go do it, just go do
100%.
it. 1, 2, 3, get out, go do
100%.
it. It will become a thing.
Yes.
Maybe a bad thing, maybe
Yeah.
a thing you learn from, and then you do another thing. But go do the thing.
100%.
Just go do it.
Yeah, and I think that there is something about just going into it with a sense like, for example, 100 people don't show up to these shows, right? But I feel like once the show is done, I go, that was a good show.
Yeah.
And I think it's so much about the energy you bring to the thing.
Yeah.
And how you sort of represent what that is.
Right.
And, we kind of talked about it briefly, just mentioned it, how I was thinking about how being a comedian as you're getting older, and so much of comedy that I think is like your voice, your opinion, what you think of things.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's tough because like what 26-year-olds I'm kind of interested in. I know 26-year-olds are also interested in that.
Right.
But like, I don't know, like a 45-year-old guy, kind of single, living in LA. But there's this element of like, you also have to like, we're like, oh, when your back hurts, it's like, dude, 25, you just from like 35 down,
Yeah.
you just lost. So
Right.
the things
Right.
that are sort of in your realm. And I think about sort of how to, how part of the blend or part of the sort of formula of doing comedy at this age is to come up with premises where you can go like, and for 26-year-olds, it's this.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like this, maybe a metaphor it out.
Sure.
And then for 45-year-olds, I don't have to explain it to you. You could tell me that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
having jokes that play in that way.
Right. No, I think about that all the time because I feel out of place as an older person. And having just now come to LA from the Midwest, I feel out of place. And I did notice when I first came here that I heard some guys talking about that. And I made a conscious effort at the very beginning of my run in LA here to be like, I'm not going to talk about the differences between where I grew up and here in that exact way. I'm just going to talk about me, and maybe you'll pick up on some of it. And maybe that's different than what you see. But I'm going to make a conscious effort not to be like, LA's weird.
What might be considered shticky.
Yeah.
I think if you get a good one, you go, hey, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like that might be a nice just to exercise, like if you're at night, like joke writing time. Right. To go like, what are some differences to me that between like the Midwest and this?
Yeah, for sure.
Like I think that there are funny dating is hard jokes.
Yeah. Right. Of course.
They exist. People wouldn't make them if they didn't exist.
Yeah, and it changes all the time because we're changing.
Godfrey, I just saw a joke. I was crying and this is such a simple joke where it's about how black people walk.
Okay.
And he goes, GTA has all black people walking like this. He's like, no black person in all of GTA walks like that.
Yeah.
They all walk like that. And then he goes into this, man, you got some almond milk? Bro, I was howling, rolling back. And I was like, dude, that's ain't it funny how black people walk?
Yeah.
Joke
right.
at its root.
Right.
Which I would go, ugh, get away from me with that shit.
Yeah.
Crush, I was crying.
I told Grand Theft Auto that black people walk like this.
What's up, homie?
Really? Is there a button for dignity? Jesus Christ. Did they actually animate him up? Hey, Tyrone, can you walk for us? Sure. Nobody walks like this, huh? Nobody black walks like this. Oh, like this. Whole Foods walk. Yo, you got almond milk.
I wonder if we just one day never talked about it, just changed this to a penis, and then just did the entire podcast and never said it.
Well,
see if anybody would notice.
One of the things I wanted to do was do a background for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Maybe add like a little. I mean, I shouldn't have even said that. We won't put this part in the podcast.
I was putting up lights today, already.
So it's happening already.
It's happening.
Oh my goodness! Is your neighborhood happening too?
No. My neighborhood is. They had this Halloween thing. They were like, "You've moved to the Halloween street," and we were like, "Badass! This is going to be great."
Nice.
And then nothing, all the way till like the 30th, and I was like, "So we don't live on Halloween Street." My kid was crushed. And then Halloween night, the lights came on. They had a festival at the end of the street.
Wow.
It just came out. It was like a whole thing, and there were like hundreds, if not 1,000 people in our street just pummeling these places for candy.
Hey, that's
and my
amazing.
kid was like, Dad is amazing. He found us Halloween Street. And I was like, I didn't. So I'm wondering with Christmas if they're doing that too.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. My favorite, Christmas is my favorite holiday.
Is it? Okay.
I usually make the big plant, the tree.
Okay.
I put up lights in my deck.
Yeah.
It's as festive as I can be, but there is this element of like, I don't know, the Christmas music.
Yep.
I like, the candy.
I like
it. The weather, especially in LA. I don't know about like New York. I'm going to New York, so we'll kind of see how it plays out soon. But in LA, it's that perfect, like, it's a little chilly. Keep it just like this for winter.
Yeah. I don't know that world. This will be my first Christmas in that regard.
Amazing. That's amazing.
It'll just feel like fall to me.
Yeah. And you put up a tree already?
No. Okay. No. I haven't put up a tree yet, but we've got all the bins in the house, and then we're tearing them apart and seeing what made the trip, because it made it 2,000 miles, and I'm checking lights, All
right. Do you do real tree or fake tree?
We do a fake tree because we figured out my kid was allergic, and who knows? We've been doing it. But I'm a big real tree fan, so I'm bummed about this kid, and we may get rid of him. But we'll put up the tree. My wife will have like 3 trees. It's a thing. Like for her, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I like that though. My mom does the same thing. Like she had this white tree for years. She would always decorate the white tree with white lights. and like crystal things. I'm like, bro, you're like a evil Disney queen, you know? And like your Christmas
Is that a Puerto Rican
Christmas?
thing?
No, Christmas is supposed to Christmas were like lights and like conga drums
Okay.
and like Mark Anthony, and she's like, I don't know, like everything. She's like, I only want white and clear.
Okay.
I have no color. I want everything crystalline. I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe just like she's a clean freak too.
Okay.
But there was an element to that, and then like the tree being stored somewhere got yellow.
Oh.
So they had to dump it, and my dad's like, I'm pulling tree rank,
Oh.
and I'm going to get a tree. And so my mom was like, you know what? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Get any tree you want. And my dad, and apologies for the racism, but my dad got a tree, and it is so thin.
Okay.
My mom calls it the Ethiopian tree.
Jesus.
And she puts like as many ornaments as possible to just try and fatten this tree up.
Fatten this
It's
tree up.
covered. It's like literally just ornaments. You can't
That's
even see
awesome.
tree. It's just like balls and like sleds and balls and sleds. And there's a star at the top, and then like everywhere there's like a little twig like sticking out, and like lights covering it
Everywhere.
You take that off, it's like a pole.
Yeah.
It's like a thin. I'm
Yeah.
like, Dad, why'd you get this thin tree?
Yeah.
He was like, I just thought it was like for the environment. Like, what?
Yeah. What are you doing with the Ethiopian tree?
But he got the
That's
Ethiopian
good.
tree, so it's very funny. Still have it, and I think now it's tradition. They're like, we're just gonna fatten up this thin tree every year with a ton of decoration.
The best Thanksgiving that I ever had in my life happened in Minnesota, and it was a snowstorm. I am a huge proponent of don't plan too much. Don't plan. Give it the moment, especially with kids. Let it happen.
Yep.
Shit happens, and it's great. Best Thanksgiving I ever had. Snowed in on the turnpike. Had to get off the road, and could not make Christmas or a Thanksgiving holiday, and had to spend it in a truck stop.
Wow.
At a diner with like two people that called you hun, and could not have been happier to have somebody to serve. There was nobody in there, and they were just like, can we just make you stuff off menu? And I was like, this is the best.
That is amazing.
This is the best. And snow was coming down so hard you couldn't. I was like, it does not get
That's like
better.
a movie.
Yeah. It was the best.
That's really cool.
So I had somebody. I'll ask you this because you were talking about Christmas. I think this is really cool, and you seem like a person that would appreciate this. Therapist told me this once, and I thought it was really awesome. She said, we were talking about the past, something that happened in the past, and then now looking at it as an adult. She said, all right, I'm going to tell you something about feelings. She goes, things that you remember in the past, the feelings that you had as a kid, whatever it might be, shame, joy, whatever it is, you will never forget that feeling. And it might even be tough to shake later in life, whatever the moment was. But the moment probably was not real. And here's how she told me you can tell. Think about the best Christmas you ever had in your life, okay?
Okay.
Describe to me the picture of what that looks like. Like, set it up. Tell me what you see. If you were to close your eyes, what's the best, I guess it doesn't have to be Christmas, best moment of your life. And tell me what you see in the picture. This is what she did to me. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say it was in the 90s. It was at home. It was in upstate New York.
Okay.
And I got a bike that I really, really wanted for Christmas.
Okay.
And I never thought I would get the bike because
Okay.
it's very expensive.
Who's in the picture in your mind? Are you in your living room getting this bike?
I am. I'm in the living room.
And is the whole fam there? Can you see them?
No, just my mom, my dad.
Okay. Are you in the picture?
When I close my eyes, I do put myself in the picture, yes.
Not possible.
Yeah. 100%
Right?
true.
Third party.
person.
And she told me that. She was like,
Oh, my goodness.
describe this thing to me. And then I did. And then she was like, that's not how it happened. And I was like, how? She's like, you wouldn't see yourself. And I was like, oh,
Love that.
genius.
And that's what they say about success when you're envisioning yourself manifesting.
Yeah.
Put yourself in the Ferrari, but don't see yourself in the Ferrari.
POV.
POV, and that's why there's these YouTube videos
Okay.
that these guys just wear these hats where they drive a Lamborghini or they drive a Ferrari from that point of view, and they just flick all the buttons.
Okay.
AS. ARM,
ARMS. I know what you're talking about.
Whatever,
whatever it is.
Link in the
Google
description.
it. Yeah,
but yeah, they I want to hear how the buttons click. I want to hear this.
Right.
And that sort of specificity, my least favorite word, is the thing that you're supposed to get sort of in your head when envisioning this stuff, but not envisioning yourself outside of it. Like if you want to meet the woman of your dreams, don't see yourself talking to a woman at a bar. Okay. See yourself looking at a woman,
looking through your eyes.
I mean, through your eyes.
It's interesting because with comedy, when you think about when you dream about killing it at the best place you could think of, whatever that may be, MSG, I don't know, wherever, the store, in the main room, wherever the dream is for you. I always am in the back of the room and I'm watching me. Right. That's the way I do it.
That's so true.
I don't know if that's bad or not, but that's how I.
Discover the world with Delta Airlines. Experience unparalleled comfort, exceptional service, and seamless travel. Fly Delta, where your journey is our passion. Book now and soar to new heights with Delta. You know, and it leads into a little bit about maybe the theme of the show today. Because it is like, we started talking about how, as you're getting older, age does your comedy translate, and how people are doing their best at their older age, and how some comedians are even funnier when they're getting older. Blah, 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 rehashing older jokes. This weekend or this Friday, I don't know why they're doing it on a Friday. I guess maybe because of sports. But Mike Tyson is fighting Jake Paul.
Right. Yes.
Mike Tyson, for those who don't know, is a boxer who was very, very dangerous back in the day.
Yes.
Probably still is.
The best ever. Now, he had his big thing with Robin Givens in Indianapolis, my hometown.
Oh, wow.
So we always looked at the Canterbury Club, that's what it's called, a little hotel downtown, and him that way. I was also a cable guy in the 20s and was working, hooking up people's cable boxes when he fought Evander Holyfield. Mm-hmm. And I had heard about him, had never seen a fight, and they were like, when your shift is over, come in, we'll all watch the fight together and have pizza. And I watched him bite his ear. That's one of the only fights I've ever seen. So this will be like the second time I've seen him.
Intro.
Yeah. And
Intro.
He's 60, right?
He's going to be, I think he is 60.
I watched the documentary. I'm not super into it. I was just on, and I was like, well, I'm fascinated. This guy's 60.
Now, give me a little bit about this documentary. I'm not aware of this.
So it's a documentary just about why are they doing it? Why would Mike Tyson do it? And they both talk in the documentary. Obviously, it's a Netflix like precursor to try and get people pumped about the thing. Yeah. And Jake Paul was smart in that he was like, this is the greatest fighter ever. Let's see what happens.
100%.
I don't think he cares. He wins either way.
I think everybody's winning either way.
Everybody probably wins. Yeah.
Mike Tyson had a interview where I guess they do like a warm up where they show the press that they can punch and stuff. And they asked him, what's it like? You have the fans, but you also have your family here today. And he's like, well, for my kids, to my kids, I'm a nobody.
Right.
But he's like, this Friday, I'm going to show them that their dad is very special.
Yeah.
And I was like,
ooh,
oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel emotional, but scared.
That would scare me. I'd be like, oh shit, he's doing it for his kids?
Like his kids? Ooh, it's not for like stocks.
Well, what's your, you predicted the Trump landslide, so what's your prediction on this fight?
I predict the Trump landslide. It's going to fuck him up. I think Mike Tyson is going to mess this kid up.
You think?
I do.
You think the amount of skill that he has is just going to outweigh the...
I just think it's like... Jake Paul wants to like promote drinks and buy land in Puerto Rico and box other people.
Right.
Mike Tyson will die.
Yeah.
In that ring.
Yeah.
Before... he would have to physically be incapable. Whereas I think if Jake Paul got hit with a couple shots, he'd be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
That was nice. Give it to the old man. I don't think he's got that, like, I'll put it all on the line. Where Tyson is like, if I die out there, that'd be the greatest thing that ever happened.
Yeah, I think he has a switch. It looks like
Yeah,
a
like a
switch that he's like,
switch.
if I need to kill you, I will.
Yeah.
I've forgotten all the rest of this.
Yeah.
I can kill you. I've jarred enough people in the head. I think, did he kill anybody?
No, but
He's
did
messed up their
people.
brain.
He's messed up people's brains. And I mean, he got, he did his thing, but you see sort of the evolution. Like, he had 42. He was like a fat, chunky guy.
Yeah.
And then he got himself back into shape like in
Yeah.
his 50s. I think he's like 57. But this idea of his, like, he's all in a way that I think. And I think some people are just like that. I just don't know how that works. I just, I feel like I'm not like that, so am I always going to lose? But, like, there's this part of me that feels like there are these people who go like, man, nothing will stop me.
Yeah.
I will just go all the way. And maybe it's just whatever motivates you in that way.
Yeah.
And with Tyson, I was like, dude, you have gummies.
Yeah.
You have weed.
Yeah.
You're a champion. Like, what do
He
you
doesn't
think
need
you're-
to. Yeah.
And I think when I saw that interview, I was like, oh, I get it. It's
Yeah.
because your kids are like, sure, Dad, whatever. And he's like,
Yeah.
dude, I used to murder people.
Yeah.
And he's like, whatever, Dad.
Do you not know how cool I am?
Thank you so much for enjoying the Gettin Up podcast. Please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.